Hey, Diane, can you hear me all right?
Can. Hello, Jody.
Hi, nice to meet you. And thank you so much for your patience. We were trying to juggle a few things, so I really appreciate you being on.
We always
Don't
said
do me a 6-7.
flexibility is the key to air power. I know every Air Force veteran has heard that, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, I have not met you. So, please tell us a little bit about yourself. And I don't know if you decided you want to do where we can just have a chat or if you wanted the time to yourself. I'm glad to give it to you if you like. Either way, you let me know.
I'll talk for a little bit, and then at the end we can wrap up with a chat if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
And thanks so much for having me on. So, as I mentioned, I'm an Air Force veteran. And one thing, one of the questions was, what does patriotism mean to you? And I truly believe that it's honoring the service and the sacrifice of those who have gone before with how we continue to live our lives and how we continue to serve others. And the three core values of the Air Force, once again, all my Air Force brothers and sisters know, are integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all that we do. And these are three great values that can be guiding principles way beyond the military. They can serve us well in life and in business. And part of my story goes to one of my core beliefs that we go through things so we can help other people through similar life challenges. And I don't know if you've ever had the wind knocked out of you, either physically or emotionally, but I can remember making a Facebook post that said, "Life just kicked me in the gut, struggling to catch my breath." And the reason I posted that is my late husband, who was also an Air Force veteran, we met in the military. He had been having back pain. And being the dutiful wife, I took him to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor said, "We can't help you. You need an MRI." And we had just gotten the results back, and we found out that not only did he have back pain, but it had spread throughout his body, and he had stage 4 inoperable cancer. And we had 3 kids, and I knew life was changing as we knew it, and I knew it was changing like that. So we go through things, as I said, so we can help other people through similar life experiences. But I also realize that the way I deal with pain is holding my breath. And so when I talked about life, kicking you in the gut and struggling to catch my breath in the military, in childbirth, and going through this with my late husband, I found myself holding my breath and I realized I just need to breathe. But the other thing is our greatest tragedy can lead us to our destiny. And I would not have started the Winning Resilience podcast, where we share stories of those who overcome in life and business, if I had not had to live resilience, right? I would not have been a best-selling author with books that have chapters on resilience and resilient leadership if I did not have to hone those skills as a single mom, as a young widow, as a female veteran. And I truly believe we go through everything in life to prepare us for what's coming next. I've taught my kids that. But the other thing is, I talked about continuing to reach out and serve others. And I can remember after my late husband passed, I was talking with my kids, and my son was in college, but my 2 girls were home. They were both still in high school. And I said, "It's up to you. Whether you want to go out the door and go to school tomorrow." I said, "We can hide under the covers and never come out again, or we can go back out there, go out the door, continue and make the difference we're known for, and let it heal us as we continue to serve others." And they decided to go to school for half a day. They continued, they had a choir concert. But the thing was, I have seen people deal with loss in many different ways. They either turn inward and cocoon and become sad and bitter, or they do continue to serve others and it gives them joy, which helps their soul to heal. And one thing I talked about, catching your breath, I've come up with a little acronym called Coming Up for Air. And A is accept that things have changed, accept that things are going to be different, and accept that it's okay to not be okay sometimes, right? I always say it's all right to not be okay, but don't unpack and live there. You can be sad, you can be upset, you can even grieve, but just don't get stuck. The other was inspire. We inspire others by the way we work through life's challenges. And I have so many people that were watching our story because our Caring Bridge had 36,000 views. So it was kind of like a glass house of what our family was going through. But I also got so many messages of how it inspired other people, and especially young widows that I'm ahead of them in the journey. I'm able to inspire them in some Facebook groups that I'm part of. And then R is rising with resilience. As you rise with resilience, you're stronger, you're better equipped to serve others, and you can make that difference that you were put on this planet to make. So, as I mentioned, our greatest tragedy can lead to our destiny if we're open to it. And one of my favorite quotes, there's a movie called Message in the Bottle. It's a sappy love story. But she says if some lives form a perfect circle, others have twists and turns that we may not always understand. Loss has been part of my journey, but so has finding out what is precious and a love that I will have forever. So I just wanted to share that with me. You've heard a little bit of my story. I'm happy to answer questions, and thank you so much for your time.
Well, first of all, sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I've recently lost my father about a year ago, so I'm going through some of that grieving as well. So everything you were saying was resonating with me. So I appreciate you sharing that and being so very raw for us. So thank you. And number two, I love Message in a Bottle.
It's one of my favorites.
It's an oldie but a goodie. I love it. I love it. So I appreciate
We're soul
that.
sisters, Jody.
Yes, we are. We are. Okay. So I wrote down Resilience Podcast. Would you tell us how we find that, where to find you, interact with you, support you, all those things?
Okay, absolutely. So on Facebook, it's Diane Kephart, just like my name is on the screen. Instagram is the same. It's at Diane Kephart. And the LinkedIn is Diane M, like Mary Kephart. And then on YouTube, it's Diane Kephart Winning Resilience Podcast. And I think the YouTube actual handle is at Diane Kephart Winning Resilience, all kind of run together the way that they do it. And I also have a Facebook group called Resilient Leaders and Overcomers. And what I'm going to start doing is promoting the different podcast episodes there so that the business leaders and the community leaders that I get to interview, I can get them some additional exposure in the Facebook group.
Right. And then you also said you were an author. So tell us a little bit about your books. I'm not sure if you have one or more.
Okay, I've been in several anthology books right now. Craig Duswalt, he's known as a pretty good speaker and mastermind leader, but we did one called Impact, and it was entrepreneurs making an impact in the world. And we had a chapter that we went best-selling #1 in 3 different categories, which was awesome. And then with Nick and Megan Unsworth, we did one called Aligned for Impact. I guess impact is the word of the year, and I didn't know that. That one also went #1 in 3 different categories. And then I've also been in another group with Craig called Entrepreneurs, Rockstar Entrepreneurs, and that one also did very well. I am working on Winning Resilience, where I compile all of the interviews so that if you're interviewed with me, you have the option of having a chapter in a book. And we'll get that out at the end of 2026 after we compile all of the episodes.
Very, very, very cool. Very cool. Well, our time is coming to a close, but this has gone so fast. I found it very fascinating, and I'm going to look into those groups myself. And I hope our viewers are able to walk away with that information as well and maybe join you as they need. So,
well, thank you for your time. So nice to meet you. We'll have to talk about Message in the Bottle sometime. And
absolutely, I would love that.
Can be your superpower. So rise with resilience when you're faced with a challenge.
Right. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you very much for your time.
Right. Have a good night.